welcome back to Traitorous, our Sims 4 soap opera. We're on episode 7, which means there's only one episode left after this of season 1. So, as always, I'm very nervous, but very excited as well. We have a lot to get into, I think, in the last couple episodes here. I mean, the finale is going to be the biggest undertaking, of course, but this one should have a good bit of drama and such going on as well. We have a good bit of things to get into for tonight, so I hope you're excited. I hope you're all having a wonderful night. Thank you for being here. Thank you for the compliments, as always. You're all so sweet. I'm trying to think if I have anything necessarily I need to get into before we jump into the episode. There's going to be a handful of commercial breaks tonight. I know the last couple episodes have been a little low on the commercial breaks. I think there's another 8 or 9 this episode, but they shouldn't be too long as Sims doesn't load for ever, as it usually does. I've tried to fix it, but it seems to be running okay. We'll see if Stream messes it up again like it kind of was on Wednesday, but I can't see anything else wrong with it. Everything's up to date. So hopefully it runs really smoothly. Yeah, thank you for the compliment on earrings. These are real cheapo ones. I haven't worn in a while. This is like the only day a week that I actually put myself together, you know, do an actual look for Traitorous Fridays. We'll see how much I dress up for the finale. I want to, but we'll see what I end up putting effort into, you know. So, yes, we're going to be doing a couple quick scenes sort of bouncing back and forth like we did a few episodes ago when there was a bunch of commercial breaks as well. But hopefully it should still run pretty smoothly, again, as long as the game cooperates. And I said this, I don't want to get into anything that's going to happen yet. I think you'll maybe know what I'm talking about when we get there. But there's a thing I want to do tonight that I've sort of tested, but I don't know how good it's going to look on camera, but I'm doing my best to tell the story I want to do in Sims, so just roll with me if something doesn't look exactly how it maybe should if we were filming this with real people. I'm trying my best, but hopefully it doesn't look too jacked up on camera, okay? We're gonna roll with, we've rolled with making things non-canon and stuff before in this series, so just roll with whatever's happening and, you know, follow my story, listen to my words. Yeah, I think that's about it. Arrest the cops who killed Breonna Taylor, keep your masks on. Places opening up is just an arbitrary date that COVID doesn't understand, so, you know, don't be stupid. And I think we can get into the actual episode now. So where we left off, if you didn't see in the recap there, or don't remember from last week, we left off with Catalina talking to Robert in the garage, you know, having a little bit of a drink since she could tell Robert was pretty stressed, and mentioning to him that, you know, as he was saying, it would have been nice to have someone like her who listens to him growing up and throughout the past couple years. Catalina sort of saying that she's wanted to be a little more involved with the family, but it's actually Robert II's mother, Juliet, who told her to stay away from the family and has been keeping her from corresponding with the Winstons. So this is going to be a bit of a quick flashback tonight. But we are here 50 years ago. You see the shoreline here. It's in the evening. We're at the Winston Manor. And this is a very, very young Juliet, as it is 50 years ago. She's still basically a teenager. I mean, she is 18, but she's still very young. All my default eyes, like everyone else's in Sims, are broken because of the update, so ignore if their eyes look flat and Max's coloring-y. Just roll with that as well. By the way, I literally just noticed that looking at her face right now. But we are 50 years ago, and Juliet is sitting here the day before her wedding to Robert, who she hasn't known like super duper long. They've been talking for a little bit, but it's more of a sort of an arranged thing between their families. You know, they've sort of been set up. Robert is obviously a good deal older than Juliet, but they are set to be wed now that she is finally 18, mainly as a family arrangement kind of thing. But Juliet has actually called a much younger Catalina over as well, who's just kind of starting to go by Catalina anyways, her birth name being Catherine, and she wanted to talk to her about something before the wedding the next day. I'm just going to get them into a conversation here. and Catalina's not exactly sure why Juliet's called her over, but she looks a little bit stern. I mean, Juliet's always been sort of a quiet, meek girl, but, you know, she's always been pretty nice and cordial with people like, you know, her future sister-in-law. She seems a little bit more serious than she usually is right now, though, and Juliet actually wants to talk to Catalina and say, listen, I know, you know, we're not very close, and we haven't talked much in the past, but I've found out some things about you, and I've been doing my own looking into stuff since I'm becoming a part of this family, and I don't think it's a good idea for you to be close with this family anymore. I know that you and Robert, you know, have somewhat of a relationship. You don't always get along, but you know, if I'm going to be starting a family with him and stuff, you just don't really seem like a trustworthy kind of person, and I found out that, you know, what you've done, and it's pretty despicable, and I can't have someone like that who is going to jeopardize the future of things around the family that I'm hopefully going to be creating in the next couple years, which Catalina's a little bit taken aback by and is going to get pretty angry and just yell at Juliet, even if it's been a somewhat calm conversation so far, and be like, what exactly are you talking about? How, like, this is my family that you're marrying into. I know that you're the new golden child coming, you know, Miss Smarty Pants coming from the other family that my family really wants to get in good with, but I don't play around with those games. I don't really give a shit about all the family opinions and all the prestige and shit that you guys are all wrapped up in, and you know, who are you to tell me to stay away from my own family? And Kelly's gonna kind of throw back at Juliet too and be like, listen, I know you're not innocent too. Like, I know that you have secrets. You know, I know that you're like some kind of kid genius, and I've caught you kind of going in and fudging some documents for Robert, you know, and fixing his mistakes. Like, don't think I've seen you going in there and redoing some of the math and figuring things out for Robert. You know, you're basically the only reason that he got the, you know, the last promotion to CEO of the company that's been working for. Like, you're the only reason he took over is because you're the one who's actually, you know, listen, my brother's a good businessman, but we all know that he doesn't have, like, the actual smarts to figure out how to make things succeed like you do. And do you think he's really gonna take kindly to the fact if, like, he knew that his little teenage wife was maybe the one who is to credit for that? And on your end, I mean, come on, do you really want some guy taking credit for your stuff? And I saw you get those scholarships. I know you want to go to college and stuff. You're gonna really just, like, listen to your families and get married away and live a life locked up to my brother? Are you kidding me? And Juliet is kind of a shy person and not really apt at getting into huge confrontations like this. But she'll let Catalina know, you know, she's like, I don't know, that's, you're maybe right, that's not necessarily the path that I planned to go on, but this is what I have to do to, you know, continue the name of both of our families, and if this is what I'm having to do to make these families happy, then I'm gonna make the best of the situation. And listen, you don't want your brother to know that about stuff as well. I'm just trying to, like, make my future husband succeed at things, because if we're gonna have kids together and stuff, I want them to be set up to have the best life as possible. I don't want to, you know, fall into poverty just because he's getting in over his head. I'm going to help in any way that I can. So I don't know who you are to try and call that out, especially since you're the one who's been sowing unrest amongst him, even if he doesn't necessarily know that, you know, for a long time. And listen, you know, I'm gonna put my foot down, and I really do this, but you need to get out of here. I don't care what you do, but I'm not going to allow you to be around uncool adult, sure. I'm not going to allow you to be around, you know, Robert any longer and mess things up anymore, and do the same for for my children. I can't believe that someone, you know, you're older than me and you're so much more immature, and I'm not going to take a stand for it. And that's basically where we'll leave them, you know, the night before the wedding. And Catalina, kind of angry, but is like, fine, whatever, you know, she's kind of already planning to get away from the family anyways. As she said, it's not really her scene, all the fancy stuff. She does have her Spanish lover Javier that she's pretty in love with, and they had plans to elope anyways soon, maybe not this soon, but you know, knowing that she doesn't necessarily want some of the things that she knows Juliet's talking about to come out either, and they're, you know, they've both got some dirt on each other, so she'll leave it there and be like, fine, I don't, you know, whatever, you know, this will come back to bite you one day, Juliet, but since I don't even necessarily want to be around this family that much anyways, and not even 100% because of you, I'll get out of here then. I'll get out of your hair and let you live your, you know, super healthy, happy, honest marriage and life moving forward then, Juliet. And we'll leave them there as it's pretty dark now. Let them get some rest before, or Juliet gets some rest before the wedding, I guess. We are headed back to the garage in present time, though, as Catalina's finishing up, sort of explaining this whole exchange between her and Juliet to Robert II himself here. And he's definitely a little bit taken aback because it's not the story that he heard growing up at all, you know. And he's kind of saying that to Catalina, like, oh, wow, goodness. I mean, that's, I don't know, I knew you existed, but it was just something that we didn't really ever talk about as a family. It was always just kind of that you left, and you know, you hadn't really cared to associate yourself with the family, and that was that. No one really knows where you are. Dad didn't really like to talk about it too much, and Kat's like, yeah, I mean, listen, your father and I, of course we had some friendly sibling rivalry, you know, what siblings don't, but our relationship wasn't ever that rocky until Juliet was hoisted onto him and started causing, you know, problems and trying to draw a rift between me and him, at least, regardless of how much I agreed or disagreed with our family and principles and such. I mean, of course I was planning on leaving this, you know, this town and this lifestyle eventually, but I mean, I wouldn't have completely cut ties with you guys if it wasn't for your mom saying any of that. Oh, help, saying any of that. She's just flattering him. And he's like, yeah, no, that, I guess that makes sense. Why, you know, my mom wouldn't really want to tell the truth there, I guess, but what did she have, like, why did she not want you to be around the family? What did she learn about you? And Kat's just gonna be like, it's nothing really. It's just some of my, you know, somewhat criminal past. You know, I was young and stupid once. I made a lot of mistakes, and I know Juliet plays real soft and sweet, but she's definitely a lot smarter and a lot judgier than she likes to come across. And listen, she was just a bit judgmental about some of the less savory things that I've done in my past, and she didn't think that it was safe to have me around you kids. I don't really want to get into all the, you know, crazy stuff I did when I was young and dumb, you know, but it's nothing that big a deal. Your mother just kind of overreacted. I know she was young, but she just sort of overreacted to the kind of, and made assumptions about me that weren't necessarily true based on some of my actions, so don't worry about it. And Robert II will be like, okay, I guess that makes sense. Yeah, I know she can be a little bit uptight sometimes. Wow, yeah, I didn't know any of that. I guess thank you for telling me. I mean, you're one of the only people who've told me anything lately in this family, so yeah, I think I'm gonna go for a walk and clear my head. There's a lot going on. You know, thanks for the drink. And Kat's like, yeah, of course. You know, anytime you need an ear, I'm here to talk, and I'll do what I can to let you know about stuff that maybe your parents have kept from you in the past. And my trunk full of liquor is always there if you need something a little bit stronger to ease your worries. So you go ahead, sweetie. You go clear your head, and we can catch up later. Thank you for whatever. Thank you. Oh, thanks, Joey, for following. Welcome. Hi, happy to have you here. I appreciate the follow. Okay, so yes, Robert is gonna go ahead and just head on out for a walk. Ooh, the waves are strong today. We'll have him head out on his walk, and as he does that, Catalina is gonna go ahead and head inside the house. I'll pretend he left through the garage door. Those aren't real garage doors. We don't have those in Sims. So Catalina's gonna go ahead and head on inside, and as she heads into the kitchen here, she's gonna go ahead and actually run into Robert, who she was just talking about, of course, and ooh, camera. And run into him over here, and, you know, we'll get them into a conversation before I get into dialogue here. Ask about day, and okay, so yeah, you know, they are on like somewhat better terms now, even though it's been a very long time, as, you know, we've seen them interacting before and stuff, and Catalina's just gonna kind of fire right in with Robert and be like, goodness, listen, there's so much unrest and like tension between your family, and I think that I think I know what we need to do to maybe bring everyone a little bit more together and calm things down around this household. And Robert's just like, what are you talking about? And she's like, listen, I mean, I've noticed your eldest has just been a bit stressed lately, and Robert's like, oh yeah, I don't know what's up with him, you know, he's definitely been doing a lot of things that I don't necessarily agree with lately, and causing a bunch of, I mean, he's kind of the one causing the tension in the family, so I don't really know what you're getting at, but kind of like, I'm not getting at anything, there's just a lot going on here, and maybe to come together, we need to have a big family dinner. Listen, there's some old, you know, Spanish recipes that I learned from my dear late Javier that I've been meaning to share with you guys and haven't really gotten a chance to since I've been back living here, so let's, you know, let me schedule a family dinner for everyone, and we can have like a big gathering, just come together over some delicious, you know, homemade food, and maybe sort some things out with the family. And Robert doesn't necessarily see a need for that. He's like, sure, I guess, like, if you want to cook for us, whatever. I don't know what good it's going to do necessarily, you know, we don't really talk about things that super openly, you know, that's not really the Winston way, but I guess if you want to make food for us, sure, go ahead, but don't expect too much to come from it. And Kat's like, yeah, no, that's fine, but maybe just a little bit of bonding time with everyone. I feel like I've barely gotten to know half the, you know, spouses of the kids anyways, so yes, I'll definitely, I'll arrange for that to happen. I'll put it on, you know, family calendar and stuff. Now, let's go ahead and get you your medication for the day. Oh, I got a new herbal remedy that I really wanted to try out too. And Robert's definitely just rolling his eyes like, oh my god, get your pagan hippie crap away from me. I've told you before that, like, I don't need that. And Catalina's just like, listen, you know, I'm just here to help, and you know, since you're the Terrance is getting invited to a party, help. You know, listen, I'm just trying to be here to help, you know, I would have been here to help a long time ago. Your wife is the one who's been trying to keep me away anyways, and she was the one who didn't even want me to give you, like, any pills to help with your stress and, like, body aches and stuff as you grow older, so just, you know, I wish you would just let me do more to help you out. And Robert's like, well, we all know Julia doesn't necessarily know what, you know, she's talking about. Sometimes she doesn't really understand all of that that medical mumbo jumbo, and she's not the brightest. We know that, so I appreciate the medical help for all of my back pain and stress and such, but I don't need all your alternative stuff. You can leave that wherever, you know, you have been for the past few decades. And she's like, okay, fine, whatever, I'm just saying, we really need to figure out something, though, to up your dosage, since the Ritter Gala's coming up, and I know, you know, Lord help me, your blood pressure is going to be through the roof, having to be in the same room with Justin Clarke and his whole family for a whole night, so we need to figure that out. And he's like, oh god, yeah, you're right. It's like, I mean, it's been a while since I've gotten to witness a big all-out brawl between you two, but hopefully we can mitigate as much of the damage to your health on that as possible. And he's like, yeah, I agree. Just like, ugh, whatever. Don't remind me of that. I'm trying to put off the thoughts about that stupid charity gala for as long as possible. And, you know, as long as I don't have to think about the Clarke family, the better. Let's just, you know, go with the normal dose and keep reliefs away from me. And so with Catalina starting to, you know, come up with some ideas about whatever family dinner she maybe wants to make for them, we'll leave the Winston family there for the end of that day and jump a couple days ahead now. At the park, it's gonna get real dark in The Sims real fast. Pretend it's a little less dark than it is in the game. I was hoping it wasn't gonna get this late before we started the scene, but I didn't want to wait any longer for it to be morning again, just so it was sunny. So, it is a bit late evening though, or, you know, early evening, late afternoon. A few days later though, and, Samantha is out at the park with her siblings, you know, having some fun with them. Looks like Chad is playing on the monkey bars here, and of course we have a little baby Tyler here. I thought I'd give you guys another little Tyler appearance. Samantha's not looking too happy though. She still looks pretty sad and nor any other children or people hanging out at the park, but you know, she's still a bit torn up about everything and working through stuff, but she's decided to be out having fun with her siblings at the park for most of the day. But as she is standing here, she's about ready to go home so soon. Max is texting her, actually. Not that that's relevant, but she's ready to take the kids home soon. And then she does notice that her friends, or what, you know, whoever at least she considers as friends, are hanging out over here, friends from school. She hasn't talked to them in a little bit, you know, she's been a little bit standoffish from them at school lately. You know, she's been a little bit wrapped up in her own stuff, but she's gonna go ahead and go say hi, standing very close to them, but she'll go say hi to them since she hasn't really talked to them much in a little while. But none of the girls really seem that happy to see Sam walking up. Excuse me. Oh goodness. None of them seem too happy to see Samantha walking up, and they're like, oh, hey, you know, and Samantha's like, oh, hi, I didn't know you guys were, you know, gonna be here. I'm just hanging out with my siblings. I know we haven't really hung out in a while. And Beverly here in the middle is just gonna be like, yeah, I mean, we hang out at the park a lot on Saturdays. We just usually don't invite you because you're so busy on Saturdays. So, and Samantha's just like, oh, yeah, I know you, I usually have like piano and strength training and all that stuff, but my mom's just been kind of canceling some of my extracurriculars and stuff, and our Ariana over here, the one on the very right, is gonna kind of chime in and just be like, oh wow, it sounds like her mom's given up on her too then. And that throws Samantha a little for a loop. She's like, what are you talking about? I mean, we agreed that I would probably I should just dial things back a little bit because I've been stressed. And they're like, oh, well, I mean, listen, we noticed that Max hasn't really been around you much lately, so we figured that he kind of dumped you after prom. So, and so it's like, what? That's not what happened. I mean, I don't, and they're just still making jokes. Quinn over here is like, oh yeah, we all saw you like run out crying after you didn't win prom queen, you know, you're probably just too in tears to even suck his dick, and he probably just wasn't having it right. And I'll just like laughing at her, you know, and they're like, we saw you totally be a loser at prom. I guess you don't really hold the weight at the school that we thought you did. And Sam's just a little overwhelmed with all this. I mean, it's still sore wounds for her, too. And I'm just gonna actually have some of these girls insult her in game, too. And they're just gonna be like, listen, maybe you don't actually like hold as much weight at the school as we thought. I mean, it kind of seems like most people usually are just being nice to you and kissing your butt because your dad runs a company that, you know, protects most of our families, but you know, it doesn't mean that apparently it looks like no one actually really likes you though, since you know, Beverly here actually won prom queen instead of you. And even Quinn is gonna, you know, chime in and be like, yeah, listen, just because just because my daddy runs Castle Trust Credit Union doesn't mean that, like, I expect everyone else to bow down to me like I'm a queen at school. It was a little arrogant to just assume you were gonna win because of that, right, Samantha? And Sam she's heard how mean these girls are sometimes, but it's not usually directed at her, and it's definitely not helping her feel any better about everything that's going on lately. And Ariana even's gonna chime in and just be like, yeah, but I heard my parents talking, and I don't even know that her daddy's company does protect our families that much. It seems like they've not been doing a great job at that lately. And Samantha doesn't really know what to even say back to that besides just, I mean, she's still caught up a few sentences ago. It's all moving a little fast for her poor broken heart. It's like, Max wouldn't do anything like that. He's a nice person, but I don't. And even Chadwick's gonna just come over here and kind of noticing that his sister's gotten a bit preoccupied. I mean, look, it's even dark out now. They were supposed to be home a bit ago, and stand up for his sister a little bit and being like, you know, hey sis, you need any help? These ladies bothering you? And even they're just gonna giggle about that, like, oh look, even she can't even stand up for herself. She has to have her little brother come in and do it. How pathetic. And Samantha's about had enough of that and kind of wishing she could maybe say more, but knowing that she's just gonna kind of cry, and it's not gonna go well if she does. Samantha will get out of this conversation early, realizing that she maybe doesn't necessarily have friends left after all this either, and she's even more sad. Samantha will go ahead and head home with her brothers, but as we pan across the park a little bit as they head home, there's a couple other people that are hanging out close to the park, which is actually Jacob Henderson and Brent, who had their little dinner the other night together, and they've been hanging out a little bit since you know, the past few days. They've been hanging out some because they did get along pretty well, and Brent did find it nice to sort of have a friend. It's been a long time since he's just sort of made, you know, a friend, another social connection with someone that he gets along with. Oh god, what did I click? I just want to get them into a conversation. So they've been hanging out on and off, and they are hanging out today, just kind of talking and chatting about stuff, and Jacob's been having a good time getting to know Brent as well. They do get along and, you know, seem to see eye to eye on a lot of topics, and they're kind of laughing about how dinner was pretty awkward when they went out to that restaurant and ran into Rosie and all of them, but Brent, disgusting. But you know, it still went off pretty well, and Jacob's like, listen, I know things can get awkward, you know, like my daughter Quinn is in the teenage stages right now, and so I've had plenty of awkward situations with her. Like, that was nothing, and I've been through plenty. That wasn't going to deter me from being friends with you just because you didn't know that your daughter was pregnant, and I was kind of there for you finding out. And Brent's like, God, yeah, God, Rosalie is pregnant, isn't it? It's just kind of sort of hitting him for the first time that, I mean, his daughter is pregnant, and he's just kind of talking to Jacob about how, like, yeah, I don't really remember most of those kind of awkward teenage years with Rosalie. I wasn't as involved as I should have been, really, as her dad, and I wish I was. I was just so caught up in my own shit that I don't even know if I've stopped getting, you know, caught up over. I, you know, have been in so much of things, you know, dealing with addiction and stuff for so long that I definitely wasn't around as much as I feel like I probably should have been for Rosalie. And oh god, she deserves like a father that's going to be a little bit more there for her, especially as she's going through being pregnant right now. Like, I don't know. I don't know what to do about it, but I feel like I need to, you know, start being a little better. And Jacob's going to go ahead and confide in Brent a little bit more here too, and say that, listen, he gets it. He, you know, not a ton of people know this because he's kind of kept it a little under wraps in the public eye and such, but he's battled with addiction in his past as well. He actually, you know, missed a lot of the first couple years of Quinn's life around when she was first born. You know, he's like, I was a I was a hotshot, you know, young banker dude and going to all these parties and such, and I don't know if I was necessarily prepared to have a child. And yes, there was a lot of different stuff going on there, a lot of self-hate wrapped up in me figuring out my sexuality while I was married to this woman that I definitely, you know, didn't love as she's pregnant with my child. But the first few years of Quinn's life, I definitely should have been around a lot more for her. And there was one day when I completely forgot to pick her up from kindergarten because I was so fucked up and, you know, just partying and such. And that's when I was like, I decided that I definitely need to change my lifestyle now that I'm raising someone else. And I started to turn things around from that day. It's definitely not been easy, but I think it's been rewarding. I'm really lucky that she doesn't remember a lot of those years and a lot of the times that I left her down. But I definitely know what it's like, and I've been there. And if you do want to maybe make some changes, you know, maybe do some things differently with your upcoming grandkid, even if, you know, you didn't necessarily do them for your kid, then let me know. I'd be here to help you if you want, or like if you even want me to sponsor you or anything. I guess get in touch with me, and we can talk if you'd like. I'd like to support you through that if you need someone else who definitely gets it. And Brent's definitely never really talked to anyone who kind of gets it on that level. Obviously, he knows a lot of people, you know, he's partied and stuff as well, but no one who's as sort of level-headed and on the same page as him about a lot of things like that. Excuse me. And so Brent will be like, that's really generous of you. I don't know yet. I really do need to figure my shit out and figure out what I need to be doing to be able to support Rosie going forward, I guess. I do want to. I've fucked it up every time I've tried to do that and get better in the past, but maybe this is the time to actually buckle down and change myself for the better and make sure I can be a more stable grandparent at least. So thank you for that. I might take you up on that offer. Let me think about things. And Jacob's like, yeah, no, absolutely, you know, of course you have my number. You can let me know if you need anything. And Jacob's gonna go ahead and check his phone actually and realize that he does have a bunch of texts and emails now, and his face is gonna sort of fall, which Brent notices but isn't gonna press too much. They're not that close enough. They're not that close where he's gonna really pry too much yet. And Jacob's gonna say, oh god, okay, so I'm really sorry. I don't mean to cut our conversation short here, but I kind of need to get out of here. There's some shit happening with Castle Trust, I guess, that I need to go deal with, being the owner and all. Got a lot of angry phone calls and emails to attend to, apparently, but I need to go get this sorted right now. I'm not exactly sure what's happening, but, you know, good chat again. Keep that in mind. You have my number, and let me know if you have, you know, whenever you have an answer about any of that stuff. And so Jacob's gonna go ahead and get out of here swiftly, head to deal with business things, as you know, Brent is genuinely gonna contemplate Jacob's offer to be his sponsor, and if he's gonna really try and make a change and push forward on stuff. We join the Clarke household, and we are in the living room to start off here. Let me find this in my want. There she is. And Lorena has actually sat down with Charlie. Oh, never mind. Charlie's the only one not in the right outfit. Hold on. Wait. I thought I was maybe forgetting someone. Pause for like 2 seconds. It's not that important. It's just important to me that she's not in the same clothes as last time. Okay, there we go. We're all good. But anyways, Lorena has gathered Charlie and Christopher in the living room, and also Mohini and Shakoba are over here chilling on the couch as well for support. But it's been a couple days since everything has happened, and Lorena has finally gathered both of her children because she thinks it's time that she does tell them everything that's going on with her and her relationship and stuff. So she's gonna go ahead and talk to both of them. Oh, god damn it, I hate Sims. Chris, sit down. I appreciate you supporting your mother. She's gonna turn to them and say that, you know, listen, I know that both of you know different bits and pieces of things going on, but neither of you necessarily know all of it. Charlie, I know that you were here for me when I found out that your dad was cheating on me, and you know, I really appreciate that, but I know you haven't really heard anything since then. What's going on with everything? Chris, I know that you know more than you necessarily bargained for, and I plan on telling you both at the same time, but I think it's at least time that I fill you both in on the whole situation. So, you know, Chris has told me that I do need to tell you soon, Charlie. I don't want, you know, there's nothing that I wanted to keep from you. I just wanted to find the right time to tell you that, tell you both at the same time that your father and I are going to be getting separated. And I know it's a little fast, but I do actually have someone else in my life. I'm not going to like say it's like an actual partner yet, or, you know, expect you guys to like incorporate them into the family or anything, but I do have someone that I am sort of dating, and at least that's where I'm staying, you know, right now. And Charlie's like, oh, that's, I mean, congrats, Mom, I guess. Wait, who is it? And Lorena wasn't really nervous to like say that it's a girl. I mean, both of her kids know that she's had girlfriends in the past and such, but she's like, well, it's actually Kassandra, who you guys may know from the practice, and you know, the person that your father was cheating on me with. We've sort of come together in an interesting way. I'm not really sure, you know, how that happened quite yet or what it is, but I'm rolling with it for now, and it's nice. And Charlie's just sort of like, oh my god, like, that is wild and not at all what I thought was going to happen when you were gonna go have coffee with this woman. I mean, yeah, I think I've like seen her once or twice when I've dropped off lunch for Chris at work, but okay, I mean, are you, I guess as long as you're a happy mom. I mean, I like to get to know her. I feel like I have some personal feelings about what happened between her and Dad and hurting you and stuff. But, I mean, if you know, Lorena's like, no, believe me, we've talked about it a lot, and Kassandra didn't know, like, anything about, you know, what was actually going on with Justin and I. We were both played. You know, I don't want to shit talk your father or anything, but, you know, he definitely did lie to both me and this other woman, and so I guess there it is. You both are aware now. I just wanted to tell you and let you know that that's going on. If you you know, I'll tell you all about her and like the house if you want to come, you know, visit us and stuff, and maybe meet her. It's just sort of, it's just casual right now, but it is where I'm staying if you want to come see me and stuff. And she's very happy that her kids seem supportive. I mean, Chris already knows this, and he's like, oh, thank God, okay, because he was just really waiting for Lorena to tell Charlie. And Lorena will say, you know, kind of the same to Jacoby, well, Mohini and Shakoba, and be like, you know, oh, god damn it, they're not in their outfits either, are they? Hold on. We're gonna do this right. I made outfits for a reason. See, I kept their old outfits. I usually just like change the outfit completely, but I kept their old outfits for this one because I wasn't sure if I was gonna pick up in this episode where we left off last time in the laundry room, or if I was going to do a bit of a time jump, and I did, which means I don't need their old outfits anymore. So, okay, pretend they've been in these the whole time. It's fine. But anyways, Lorena will turn to Shakoba and Mohini too and be like, I mean, you know, I guess, like, you guys are, I know you're close with Charlie, I guess that's, you know, you know, you guys are aware now too. You guys are the only few that know then, besides like your father and Kassandra. And your father doesn't know that anything has happened between Kassandra and I. Haven't really spoken to him much since I told him that we were getting separated, or that I wanted to separate from him. So I'd appreciate if none of you really said anything publicly yet, but I trust you four, I guess. And Charlie's like, yeah, I know that you wanted to call us here to talk about stuff for a bit, Mom, and I figured it was a good opportunity to tell you something as well, and that's kind of why I brought Mohini and Shakoba along. It's not necessarily just because they come with me everywhere most of the time, or that I needed emotional support particularly, but I've been talking to Christopher and letting... he has discovered something, and I he's urged me that it would probably be a good idea to tell you. It seems like we both kind of have a couple secrets going on, and Lorena's starting to look a little worried just because her and Charlie don't usually keep like too many secrets between each other and stuff, and Charlie's like, no, don't worry, Mom, like it's nothing bad, you don't need to worry about it, but since you are coming out and telling us that you have a new girlfriend, I guess it's probably the perfect time to let you know that I do as well, and that Mohini's not just my roommate. And Lorena's like, oh goodness, does something happen between you and Jacoba? And Charlie's like, oh no, okay, I'm not explaining this well, sorry. It's part of the only reason I haven't like said anything is just because I feel like I'm awkward explaining it, and it's a little different, I guess, and I don't know how. And Jacoba's like, babe, it's fine, your mom's not gonna be weird about it. No, Lorena, Charlie and I are fine. Mohini and I are actually fine too, all of us. I'm with Mohini as well. It's all three of us are kind of together, and Mohini just seems like a little shy, but it's like kind of smiling because it's something that she's definitely kind of been keeping quiet as well. And Charlie's like, yeah, and I mean, I guess if you have any questions, you can let me know, but no, we're all good, and Mohini's not just our best friend, but she's actually our girlfriend as well. And it's not what Lorena was necessarily expecting to hear, but she's like, oh, I mean, oh, that's wonderful, like, as long as you guys are all happy, of course I support you, and Mohini, I told you when I was staying with you guys that I've always already treated you like a daughter. You're all my children, and I'm really glad that you told me. And Mo's like, oh, I'm so relieved. That's the only reason I was being really awkward around you when you were staying with us, because I'm used to being just so relaxed around these two at home, and I just, I know that Charlie just wasn't really ready to tell you guys yet. Charlie's like, I know, I'm sorry that, I've been silly and nervous to tell you guys, and Chris found out earlier in the week, and so I guess it's time that we're finally coming out with it to you guys. And Lorena's like, yeah, it might take me a little bit to get used to and remember, but as long as you're happy. And Chris is definitely very relieved. He's like, okay, thank God, because that it's like really hard. Like, it's been so awful trying to like interact with both of you, knowing all the secret shit about both of you for the past few days. So we'll have Lorena go ahead and stand up and give Charlie a hug here, if I can get her to hug her, and then oh God, help. No, fine, I'm not gonna go through that menu again. Well, Lorena will get up, give Charlie a hug, and then Lorena's gonna go give Jacoba and Mohini a hug as well. I'm sorry that, like, I hiccup so much tonight. Help me. Okay. We'll have Lorena go ahead and get up and give Jacoba and Mohini a hug over here if Sims will goddamn cooperate and let me get to the hug menu. There we go. She'll go give these kids a hug in the corner. I'll pause, I guess, so you don't miss it. Where's hug? Technical difficulties. Oh, maybe her relationship isn't technically high enough with Mohini in this save yet, because I didn't cheat it up or whatever. She's like, listen, I accept you kids, like, I'm so happy you're, you guys are happy and that you felt comfortable enough telling me, that, like, I guess our mutual secrets are safe with each other until we're ready to tell other people. And she'll just, like, express her love and everything to the other two over here. It's just flatter. Oh God, stop! I didn't take the hook out module out of this. That's not canon. I forgot to take slice of life things out of my save file before I loaded. And, any non-related family in Sims, just you can't let them interact autonomously with slice of life stuff in. Excuse me, sorry about that. But as she's expressing her joy and everything with Jacoba and Mohini, Charlie's very happy how it went too, but she's still talking to her brother over here, and as the others are preoccupied, Charlie's gonna kind of lean over to Chris and be like, I'm glad that you have those off your chest, but I hope I can tell that you're still hiding something from me. And Chris is gonna kind of go, because that's kind of what he was worried about. He knows Charlie is, out of everyone, the one who can read him the best, and he's like, these are the two that were eating me up, Charlie. And she's like, okay, I believe that, but I know something else is going on with you, and you know I'm gonna figure it out eventually. And before Chris can really respond too much, Amanda is gonna come in and go ahead and call over to Christopher and be like, oh, honey, oh god, see, I forgot to take skincare out as well. It's not that I forgot, it's that I was going to, but then I didn't restart my Sims game from earlier this afternoon because I was actually working on setting up outfits and stuff like right up until the last minute today, so I didn't have time to restart Sims. But anyway, my autonomous settings are literally all off for this save, Jenna. By the way, everyone, there is no autonomy on. I don't know why it's literally slice of life hookup module, because it's like the autonomy is still out of control on that, and I just keep forgetting to not take it out of my game. But anyways, Amanda's gonna go ahead and call in here and be like, you know, oh, Chris, are you ready? Like, we need to go have dinner with those prospective caterers for my parents' charity gala that's coming up like really soon. We had it, we need to get going if we're gonna make it to the restaurant on time. Chris is like, yes, right, I know we did have that planned. We can go ahead and get out of here then if you're ready. I am. And she's like, yeah, come on, like, let's get going, I don't want to be late. So those two are gonna go ahead and head off, as Amanda's talking to him, just being like, remember, we just need to like this is an important dinner, I just need to like vet I just need to vet things and, make sure that these caterers are up to my parents' standards, since they are related to Cypress and all. Where the hell did Christopher go? Did he disappear? Oh, he's just all the way over in the kitchen. Okay. Anyways, let's see. Let's have those two head on out the back as they're gonna go have dinner, talk to the prospective caterers. Charlie was just autonomously flirting with Amanda, and I'm gonna actually leave that canon because I think it's funny. I think that Charlie does definitely jokingly flirt with Amanda sometimes to make her uncomfortable. But speaking of Cypress, I meant to get her started on this earlier, but Cypress is actually outside with Hunter. Hunter's chilling in the pool over there. But she's working on some art outside as Amanda and Chris are headed to their dinner with her parents, actually. And let's pretend that Cypress is a little bit farther along than she is currently, but Amanda's like, oh, that looks really beautiful. That's gonna look like so amazing hanging up in, my parents' entryway for the gala. Thank you so much for helping along. You actually do make pretty decent art, and I think it'll be a nice, personal eclectic touch for the gala. So thank you for, I guess, contributing your artistic skill to it. And Cypress is like, yeah, I mean, your parents are paying me a lot, so thanks for recommending me, I guess. Glad you like it so far. Go ahead and get out of here, and I got say hi to my parents for me. Amanda's like, yeah, sure, we will. And so, general pleasantries as the two of them are gonna go ahead and head on off to dinner. I'm gonna just get them a bit farther off the lot here as they running out to dinner to meet with the caterers and such. And so they're gonna continue, or Cypress is gonna continue working on her art that Amanda did actually ask her to make for the charity gala after Cypress offered up her services, her assistance the other day when seeing how overwhelmed with work Amanda was. And so as she's working out here, I'll fast forward a little bit. Sean's gonna come on out and see her working on stuff and be surprised to see her and Hunter here yet again and be like, oh, are you, do you know where Marissa is then? And Cypress is like, nope, I'm just over here to work on this. And, Hunter likes to utilize his parents' pool if he can be over here in a relaxed, for a relaxed reason. And she's like, no, Marissa didn't actually call us over here this time. And Sean's like, oh, okay, got it. Yeah, I'm just not used to seeing either of you really hanging around unless I guess Marissa needs to talk to Hunter. Hopefully at least you guys will be getting out of here a little earlier than last time him and Marissa needed to have a talk. like, I don't even know what they're talking about that long, do you? Cypress is like, no, not really. I mean, he doesn't really talk about that much with me. And Sean's just like, oh, I'm really, because I don't know, Marissa hasn't really told me much either, and you and Hunter are just always, I know you guys are really open with each other and talk about a lot of stuff in your lives like all the time, so has he really just not told you anything about what's, you know, whatever's been up with Marissa demanding his company so much lately? And Cypress is like, yeah, no, we are open with each other, but I don't know, we just don't really just discuss, you know, we stay out of each other's business and let each other do our own thing, you know? It's that damn slice of life again. Like, stop it. And so, sorry, I'm just looking for some on the sim panel down here. Okay. And Sean's like, oh, yeah, no, of course, so it has to do with business then? It's not just in friendly, you know, family conversations? You think it does have to do with business, whatever Marissa and Hunter are talking about? And Cypress is starting to get, like, a little, thrown off. She's, you know, feels like she's answered the question already, just like, yeah, no, I don't know. And before Sean can kind of continue his line of questioning, Marissa has walked out into the backyard, which is going to kind of shut Sean up pretty quickly, questioning whatever's going on, you know, and it's like, oh, hey, sweetie, I do need to attend to some stuff on my own business end, so get out of your guys' hair, and he's going to go ahead and head off as Cypress continues working on her art over here, and Marissa's just going to, like, roll her eyes at Cypress. I don't know. She doesn't really interact with Cypress. Hunter's who she's needing to go speak to. She's going to head on over to the pool, as usual. Hunter's who she wants to speak with, even if he's not over here to talk to her. She's noticed that the two are over here. You know what? I'm worried Hunter's going to go ahead and get out of the pool, so we're just going to bring Marissa over here and pretend they're talking. Or she's gonna get in the pool to do that. Never mind. I guess she's gonna go join Hunter doing some summer relaxation and be like, let's see, you know. Oh, hey, what are you doing here? Or I guess she just can't walk up that hill. Sims are silly. It's fine. I guess she can stay in her swimsuit. But she'll go ahead and say hey to Hunter and be like, oh, well, you're here. Let me talk to you, because I need to ask you something. What was up with you and Amy the other day when she showed up to this house? Like, how do you know Amy Winston? Hunter's like, I don't. Marissa, everyone knows who Amy Winston is. She's the wife of, you know, the Winston heir. What do you want from me? Marissa's like, yeah, no, of course everyone knows who Amy Winston is, but you seemed to she seemed to kind of react to you there, and you know, I wasn't exactly sure what that was about. It seemed like you guys maybe know each other a little more. Are you talking with any of the Winstons? Because I know that you can be kind of stupid, but I didn't think you would be that stupid to be interacting with them. And Hunter's just like, Jesus, Marissa, no, I don't know. I'm not her. I don't know why she reacted like that. Why would I be talking to the Winstons? I'm not as stupid as you think, so come off it, okay? Would you just let me relax for once instead of, you know, being over here being berated as usual? And Marissa will be like, fine, I'll let it go for now, but just so you know, I don't trust that for one damn second. But I guess you have been doing well lately. You have actually been finally doing what I've asked, and listen, Securvo is thriving, so I guess I can drop it for now and give you one day of peace. And just like, wow, is that actually a compliment from you on my work? And she's like, come off it, okay? It's not a compliment, it's more just me acknowledging that I appreciate you finally stepping up to the plate and doing what I asked of you, okay? So don't go gloating so soon. You're literally doing the bare minimum of what you could be doing, everything considered. So continue to do a good job, and maybe I won't keep pressing the issue, okay? So that's we'll leave them to discuss there. She'll probably leave him alone to let him relax. But that's we'll leave the Clarkes there as Cypress is spraying herself in the eye with spray paint. We are at the Winston household, and it is actually the night of the family dinner. You know, Catalina put it together pretty fast. They're not gonna have actual food to eat. Just pretend that they do, because I didn't want to have anyone make food. But Robert is over here on the computer looking through some business things as Juliet kind of comes over to him to let him know that, you know, the family dinner is ready and everyone else is out there waiting for the two of them to join so that they can start. And Robert's a little mad because he doesn't really necessarily care about this family dinner or want to partake anyways, you know, and he's like, ugh, fine, whatever, just give me like a second, you know. And Juliet's like, oh, sweetie, are you looking through insurance stuff again? And he's like, yes, leave me alone about it. I'm just making sure that, you know, our livelihood is in good hands, all right? I don't trust our son lately, and these quickly declining numbers lately are proving my exact point correct. So Juliet's gonna be like, well, you know, maybe you did give it over to him too soon. I guess that's something you'll have to. And Robert's like, oh, whatever. You don't know anything about this stuff, so just let me handle it. Let me handle it with our son. If I need to say anything, I will. And let's go get this stupid damn dinner over with. And Juliet will just kind of back off, be quiet, and just like, yeah, yes, you're right. Let's go ahead and go have some dinner. So we'll have them go join the rest of the family over the dining room table. The rest of the adults, at least. The kids are just kind of hanging out in the kitchen, eating some dinner on their own. You know, the adults are taking up a mantle in the main dining room over here with the bar and everything, the wine bar at least, and having a nice dinner. You know, they've already kind of gotten started. We'll have Catalina go ahead and just tell some fun stories to everyone about her and Robert's childhood, you know, just kind of hanging out, talking to people since, you know, as she was saying to Robert, she still is kind of getting to know the rest of the family that she hasn't met too much, you know, as she goes. Fucking Sam's having to stand up. Sit back down, please. And if Robert would kindly join them in the dining room, of course being stubborn as always, and not wanting to come and sit down. Okay, Julia, I wanted you over here, please, my dear, next to your husband. I don't think Terrance would have wanted Julia to be sitting over here next to Catalina and not him. And so we'll let them go ahead and have their nice little family dinner. Things are a bit stilted, of course, and you know, all of them don't usually gather all together that often, and there definitely Catalina was right, there's definitely some tension sort of brewing between a lot of people, so it's a lot of general kind of polite conversations, no one really wanting to call out too much directly in front of everyone, until Robert definitely starts making some passive-aggressive comments to his son over here. We'll have him do that, actually, just kind of offhandedly mentioning some stuff about, you know, whether or not he's really thank you, Jenna, it is boiling over. Title drop. Oh, meme is what I wanted. Yeah, we'll just, you know, starting to make some snide comments about whether or not Robert necessarily does have the family in good hands, you know, and some comments about how he's maybe not doing great with the business. And, you know, of course, as we've seen, Robert has definitely been doing this for a bit with his son, and Robert II is getting pretty tired of it, and he has a lot going on in his mind about the rest of the family, and is sort of frustrated having to sit here and play nice with everyone, including Terrance, as Terrance makes jokes and laughs along with the people he grew up with, and no one is, you know, really calling out Terrance as usual, until his dad's just gonna end up, you know, needling at him enough and making enough comments that you know, Robert's had a drink or so with dinner, and he's gonna finally just sort of snap and yell back at his dad and stilt the conversation between anyone else at the table here. Catalina making jokes, but that's definitely gonna stop as you can hear a pin drop as Robert's gonna be like, okay, Jesus Christ, enough. Like, if you have something to say to me about the business, Dad, you can go ahead and say it to me directly. I am so tired of the passive-aggressive bullshit, and I'm tired of you harassing me about the company. Like, you're the one who gave this company to me in the first place. If you're the one who handed the shambles of a company that was left over when it was up to me to try and fix everything that got fucked up by you, presumably. So I don't want to hear it anymore, okay? I am so tired of everyone in this family and having to play nice, all right? You all just act like Terrance is the funniest and coolest human being ever. He's not even a part of this family, okay? He's a cold-blooded asshole who barely even, like, acknowledges his daughter's death and, like, treats it like an empty pit out there instead of a grave while his, you know, wife is still... or my fucking sister is still a train wreck over it, and none of you seem to want to acknowledge that either. My wife's probably fucking a Clarke, and, you know, I have to sit here and try and take care of everything, which no one even recognizes, as my siblings walk around like, you know, ghosts of their past selves, okay? So does anyone want to, like, maybe, like, mention any of that? Mom, you have anything you want to bring up either? Because apparently everyone in this family has been lying to me and putting up an entire facade about everything most of my entire fucking life. So you know what, like, if you want it to come out, like, let's talk then if you want to talk about it. But I'm tired of sitting around and acting like everything's fine when we all know for damn well that it's not. And everyone's pretty upset and pretty shocked at that, including Robert himself. They may look like they're having a friendly conversation, but they're yelling. And Amy's even just gonna be like, oh, Robert. And as Robert finally responds and just says back to his son that the company wasn't in shambles that much until I did give it over to you. So with that, Robert's gonna be like, that's what you're gonna say? Okay, of course that's what you care about. All right. You all enjoy dinner, I guess, but I can't sit here right now. And Amy's gonna even try and get up and follow him, but he's gonna motion her and be like, just no, please, just I'll be back in a bit. And Catalina's actually kind of smiling and smirking at Robert as he go ahead and here we'll have him walk out. You know, he's actually gonna go ahead and head on out to the garage for whatever reason, and Catalina's just kind of trying to hide her smile at everything that's happened there. And Amy looks definitely one of the most distraught, as she's just kind of buttering to herself, for, you know, somewhat to Catalina about, like, I don't, why did he, I wouldn't, I'm not, and kind of wanting to go up and after him again, and Catalina's gonna go ahead and motion her, like, you should probably give him a minute, sweetie. I know, but just let him calm down a bit. Oh, damn, it took away the sad mood label. She's crying, and I think everyone else is pretty upset. Oh, it looks like Juliet needed to take a minute away. Actually, I'll have her come back to the table after she took a minute to console while she's passing out, because I forgot to bump up the needs. Julia, as usual, is looking like crying. I don't know if Brent necessarily has processed everything that's happened, but Brent doesn't handle conflict like that, definitely. It's part of the reason he hasn't necessarily stood up to everyone in the family too much. Is gonna excuse himself as well. Robert's gonna get up from the table, definitely upset that his son spoke to him that way in front of the family, and be like, you know, well, thanks, Kat, this was a real great idea for a family dinner. And Robert's gonna go ahead and head on out back to the study, go have a cigar, and Terrance is gonna follow him into the study as well. And Julia is definitely a bit shaken up by that as well. As we know, she doesn't handle yelling the best. She's gonna excuse herself. As well as Amy, because she doesn't necessarily want to cry in front of all of her in-laws, and she doesn't really know what's going on with her husband. It feels like she's been trying to figure it out for a while before it reached this point, but we'll just have Amy just head on upstairs to her bedroom. And where the hell is Juliet? Julia, oh, there she is, coming on back to the dining room as Catalina's still kind of just sitting here with a smile. Please ignore the peeping Tom in the window if you notice that. And you know what? Julia looks pretty upset, actually, and is gonna talk to Catalina. I'm gonna actually have her do a mean interaction here. Oh yeah, as usual, these two are a little bit at odds, and finally speaking up after everything, after it's, you know, the dust has settled a tiny bit, as far as everyone leaving, Juliet's just gonna be like, Cat, what did you say to my son about me? And Kat's like, I don't know, Juliet. I just told him the truth about dear old, you know, about Mommy Dearest, and why his poor Aunt Cat hasn't necessarily been around all this time. And Juliet's just gonna roll her eyes and also storm off herself and being like, I can't believe I actually thought and believed that maybe you'd changed and maybe it'd be okay to let you around my family again. I was so stupid. And she's gonna go ahead and walk off alone as Catalina still looks pretty pleased with herself, sitting here left alone at the table. We're back in the Clarke household, and a couple of other people are actually headed on back into the household as Christopher, Clarke, and Amanda are headed back from their dinner with the prospective caterers, and neither are looking too happy about how that went at all. But now that they're in the household, of course, Amanda is not going to hold back anymore and is going to start chewing out Chris over here for how that meeting went, and just being like, oh my god, I have told, like, you made me look so bad at that dinner, like you didn't even give any input at all with that, and I have asked you, like, all I asked is that you come with me and you support me and you just, you know, you be the loving partner by my side and you put in a good word for me with these people, you know, like, I'm scrambling to get everything, I'm doing so much all by myself right now, and like, it's the least that I asked of you. And Chris is like, I have told you so many times, I don't know about this stuff, I don't care about this stuff, I trust your opinions on these, you're doing fine with planning it, I don't know why you want my input so badly, like, it doesn't matter, I don't know what to like say about this stuff, it was going fine, you didn't need, like, you didn't need me to speak up for any of this stuff. And Amanda's just like, okay, but you could have seemed, like, involved, you seemed so disinterested and, like, almost uncomfortable around me the entire night, like, you didn't even participate in the conversations, you were staring off into space and looking miserable half the time, which you've been doing, like, plenty lately, like, you are engaged to one of the most prestigious and sought after daughters in this town, to one of the other richest families. You are from one of the most prestigious families, and you have, like, such an amazing budding career and a wonderful life. Like, what do you have to continue to sit there and be sad about? Like, I don't understand what is wrong with you lately. And Chris doesn't usually fight back this much, but he's just tired of it, and he's been fed up with Amanda all night, and it's like, really? Those are the reasons you think that I should just be happy all the time? That's what matters most to you? You think would the only things that could make a person happy? Like, Amanda, are you kidding me? Let me get them in it. Let me just queue up a couple arguments here so they keep on yelling at each other. Here. Sure, whatever, just keep arguing. Like, Chris is really just stunned that that's her response to all this, and Amanda is just confused because she's like, I mean, obviously we could be the best couple in this town, but you refuse to put in the effort to, like, appear like the best unit that, you know, I know that we could be, and show people that we are, but and Chris is like, are you really? Okay, Amanda, if you want us to appear like the best unit in town, maybe you better start acting like we're an actual unit then, and trying to fix us before you just fix the way we look. to other people. Like, if that's your main concern, then I don't know what to tell you, babe. And she's like, Chris, I have done so much to make you involved. I have asked your opinion. I have tried so many times to get you involved in what I am doing. I have done so many things to make you feel loved and cared for in this relationship, and you have done nothing to show the same amount of effort and care back to me, especially lately. Like, I don't know, you used to do so much, and it seems like these past few years, you've really done nothing at all in this relationship. And Chris, like, are you absolutely kidding me? I have put up with so much. Amanda, what are you talking about? Like, maybe if you want me to be interested in stuff, you shouldn't just try and shove your own interest down my throat or get me to put input on things that it doesn't really matter to me. I've told you I trust you and that you can, you know, do what you want. What more do you want from me? Maybe be interested in whatever I want to talk about, or, you know, don't constantly berate me anytime I don't respond to whatever you say to me the exact way that you want me to respond to you, Amanda. And she's definitely getting upset at this point because she can't believe that Chris is talking to her. I mean, you've been saying that, just like, I cannot believe that you have the audacity to even talk to me like this right now. I just, like, you can't even just put in, like, the modicum of effort. You can't have a professional conversation with people for me. You don't even buy me, like, you know, fancy jewelry anymore. All growing up, like, my parents, even though they were only married after, like, a month of knowing each other, like, my dad bought her a bracelet every single time they went out for, like, their entire marriage, and, you know, still just to show that, you know, they are a strong couple and that they're together and stuff. And you haven't done anything like that for me to show me that you actually care in such a long time. And, you know, you think that you're like, maybe I'm tired of it, Christopher. Okay, maybe I'm tired of waiting. And that's one of the last straws for Chris. Just like, if you're really confusing me opening my heart and me opening my wallet to you, Amanda, then I think you have more problems to sort out than just the ones that exist here between us. Okay? I can't handle, I can't do this anymore. And you know what? If you want the truth, me sitting there uncomfortable the whole, yeah, maybe I was a little uncomfortable, you know, because maybe you constantly just trying to force, you know, whatever you want me to say down your throat, well, I have to sit there and act like I'm just, you know, fine with you making all these weird passive-aggressive, like, microaggressions towards her parents that entire night. Like, maybe you were the one out of line, Amanda, and were the one that, you know, gave a bad impression. So I can't do this anymore. And Chris is gonna go ahead and stomp out as Amanda yells after him that, you know, you better really seriously think about, oh, pretend it's still dark out, better seriously think about the way that he just spoke to her, you know, and, like, where are you going? And Chris is just gonna say, listen, I don't know, Amanda, but I can't be here right now if you're not gonna, you know, we can't have a conversation about this right now. And as Christopher goes ahead and stomps on off into the night, Amanda's gonna just go ahead and yell out after him that, you know, oh, you better have an apology by the time you get back here, Christopher Clarke. And definitely very irate the way she's been treated by her fiance. We'll leave their little fight there. Back at the Winston family, everyone handling the big fallout at the super successful family dinner in their own ways. We have Terrance and Robert over here in the family study having a little bit of a conversation, you know, having a cigar to relax and such together, just pretend they are, as, I don't know, men like this do, you know. That's just the image I have of this in my head. As Terrance is kind of talking to Robert and sitting with him. Actually, let me have them. I'm gonna have them go sit on Catalina's bed just purely so that Robert doesn't keep sitting down in this office chair while they talk. And Terrance is gonna be like, oh gosh, and, you know, just wanted to check in on you, Robert, to see how you were doing after that whole catastrophe. And Robert's like, oh, thank you, Terrance. You know, I do appreciate you doing that. It's a real big headache, all of this. I don't know what has gotten into my son lately, but I thank you for seeing how I'm doing, and Terrance is like, yeah, no, for sure, that was really out of line. I would have never spoken to my father that way. I don't really know, you know, why he thinks that was an appropriate thing to do in front of the whole family, no less. That just seemed really disrespectful to you, and you've given him so much. And Robert's like, thank you, that's what I keep trying to express to him, but he's, I don't know, he's had his trouble years, he's been a difficult child before, but never like this. Oh, shut up. Yes, Samantha should stay at home. It's nighttime, guys. And so, yeah, Robert's just agreeing with Terrance, being like, I don't know, like, I raised him better than this. I don't understand why he has been backtalking so much lately, and especially when I don't know how much room he has to talk. He's not, you know, just because he's the one in charge of the company now doesn't mean I still don't have my pull, doesn't mean I still don't know, you know, have my tabs on everything that's going on. And I know that things aren't exactly as good as he keeps acting like they all are. And Terrance is like, no, I've definitely picked that up as well, and just, I don't know, I'd be nervous leaving everything still in his hands. I mean, he's kind of, seems like he's kind of squandering the opportunity to make a big name for himself and continue the family legacy with the business. So I really hope for your sake, since, you know, you've built this all up on your own, I hope for your sake he doesn't do anything to tarnish your reputation anymore. And Robert's like, no, you know what, you're right, you're very right, Terrance, you've always had such a nice level head about business things, and I've always appreciated your insight, and I know we've had conversations in the past about this kind of stuff, and I guess I just really was hoping that I had brought up my son better, but don't think I haven't been seriously considering our other previous conversation about maybe letting you may have the more bulk of the inheritance in my will, Terrance, because as far as I can see with the way you've, you know, been consoling and taking care of Julia the past few years, and taking care of, you know, me, and actually caring about my feelings, unlike my son seems to be lately, you would be a much better candidate to maybe be able to handle that level of fortune and responsibility. And Terrance seems pretty pleased with himself and with Robert hearing this, and it's like, Of course, Robert, I've been very blessed being a part of your family, and I would love to continue having that conversation as well. But speaking of, I should definitely go, you know, check in on Julia, make sure that she's doing okay after everything. But I appreciate everything that you've said to me, Robert, and done for me. As you know, of course. And we'll leave those boys there and check in on Aimi up in her bedroom with Robert. Oop, I meant to make her sad again. Because she is pretty upset after that, you know, after the last interaction in the hallway with Robert the other day, and now this. She's not exactly sure what's been going on between her and her husband. She's just been so busy with work and stuff lately. She hasn't really had a time to sit down and talk about it all with him, even if she has wanted to. So she's sort of just staring off into the distance here, thinking about everything that happened tonight. And Samantha is gonna go ahead and lightly knock on the room and come on in and sit down next to her mom and be like, hey, I just wanted to check in on you. I don't know exactly what happened, but I put my brothers to bed, and I heard yelling coming from the dining room, and I just didn't, I guess, I just wanted to see what happened, and Amy's gonna kind of try and dry her tears, steel herself a little bit, and be like, oh, don't worry, sweetie, it's okay, you're so sweet, thank you for checking in on me. I'm okay, just a little rattled, I guess. You don't need to concern yourself with stuff. You know, your dad can have a temper sometimes, I guess, and things just I guess that just came out a little more than it has in a long time, but I'm okay. Thank you for putting your brothers to sleep, you know, and taking care of things on that end. That's not your you didn't need to do that, but I appreciate it. And Samantha is gonna be like a little quiet for a second, and then just be like, Mom, I mean, you've been really wonderful with everything going on with Max and I, lately, and you were really making me feel like it was okay to be upset about stuff. And I guess I just want you to know that, I mean, since it's kind of what you were telling me, you don't just have to always be strong and put on like a strong face either. You can be upset about stuff too if it upsets you. And that's gonna kind of bring the tears back to Amy's eyes a little bit as she's like, you are so smart and I am so lucky to have you as a daughter, and thank you. I guess maybe sometimes I need to be reminded that as well. It definitely is not your responsibility to be taking care of my feelings right now, but that is a nice reminder, and I appreciate it. I love you. And, you know, Sam will say, yeah, I love you too, Mom. Let me know if you need a girls' night soon. And Amy will kind of laugh and tell her she'll let her know, but, you know, to go take care of herself, get some good night's rest. I think we all need a good night's rest around here. And they'll leave the conversation there. Samantha's going to go ahead and head on over to her room, which the weirdly dressed butler is in apparently, but we'll pretend he's left the room. And Samantha will head on back over to her room, pretty upset. I mean, she only caught bits and pieces of the argument. She doesn't exactly know what happened, but her mom's upset, which is a rare sight, and she's kind of been slagged off by all her friends and such, and she's not really been having a good time lately, and she's been really realizing through everything that the person that she usually always went to when anything was going on like this was Max, and she doesn't really have him right now to lean on, or to have a true confidant. Clearly all of her friends aren't actually her friends who will listen to anything about this, and more so than being her boyfriend, she's really just missing Maxwell as her friend right now and as someone who cares about her. So it's been a bit since they spoke at the store, but she's gonna go ahead and call him, kind of crying, and he can tell that she's upset right away, but is being cautious because he doesn't want to push anything, you know, with her. And she'll basically tell the same to Max that, listen, I'm definitely not ready for anything to start between us, but I didn't realize how much, you know, you helped relieve stress for me, and I really do miss you, and I really do I miss having my best friend over having, you know, my boyfriend. And I don't know what's gonna happen with us yet, but, like, can we at least please be best friends again? It's been really hard not even just being able to talk to you and see you, I've realized, and I think I just really need a true friend right now, and above all, I know you're that. And she's even gonna, you know, talk with him and let him know that, like, they can go ahead. I mean, they already had plans to go to the Ritter Gala together as boyfriend and girlfriend, and I know that, she's like, I know that those plans have sort of been in limbo lately, but I want to let you know that I think it would really be helpful to me. There's going to be a lot of people there that have not really treated me kindly lately, and I think having your emotional support would be really nice. So we can still go together if you would just go as my best friend, and we can just, you know, take things from there right now. And of course Max, you know, is even relieved to be able to talk to Samantha as well, and it's like, that sounds great to me. As I told you, we can take this as slow as you want, and you know, I've been missing my best friend too. So we'll leave Samantha to go ahead and talk things through with Maxwell, as we saw Christopher had gone ahead and stomped out, and as he was stomping away from the Clarke estate, it has started raining and pouring, and it's thunderstorming pretty badly actually, but he's not really thinking. He's just kind of stomping on off, not really sure where he's going, and not thinking about it too hard, but in doing that, he's just kind of ended up over at Rosalie's home over here, and since it is storming pretty bad, he didn't really mean to go here, but his feet sort of took him here, and clearly the storm is picking up, so you know what, he's gonna just think fuck it and go ahead and go knock on Rosalie's door here. You know what, we're gonna have to go page down a little bit so the camera works, and it's been like a bit over it's been over a week now since they've really spoken, but screw it, he's here now. He's still pretty angry, and Rosie's gonna go ahead and come answer the door, kind of surprised, like, oh, Christopher, hi, you know, they, like I said, haven't really spoken for for a bit now, and he's gonna awkwardly sort of say hi back as they stare at each other. But with the storm brewing and getting pretty bad, you know, she's not gonna leave him out here in the thunderstorm. So she'll motion for him to come inside. Things still a little bit awkward between them, and she'll tell him to go just take a seat in her bedroom, and she'll get him a towel to like dry off with some, you know, so he's gonna go ahead and sit in there. He's never really made it that far into her house yet, but he'll go ahead, okay, fine, use the other door that heads into her bedroom, and Rosalie's gonna go ahead and you know, grab a towel for him, and then go ahead and head inside to come see what exactly is up with Christopher. He's still looking pretty upset. Bandit's happy to see him, though, clearly. If I can go ahead and get him to sit on the bed here. So we'll have Rosalie come join him. I can't give him a towel with Sims things, but pretend that she has. And despite the awkward tension, you know, and just the sort of stiltedness of conversations that are coming up with him, I'm gonna just go ahead and cue a couple friendly interactions here to get them into a conversation. And you know, she'll just be like, hi, I don't, you know, what's up? Oh, they're probably just gonna, oh my god, okay, could you guys stop and then sit down? Sit and chat here, sit and chat here, sit and chat here. Thank you. Yeah, and so she'll ask like what, you know, he's doing here, and he's like, yeah, sorry, I know it's been a couple days. I just you know, I don't know, Amanda and I had a pretty big fight, I guess. Things have just been on my mind about her, and I guess a lot kind of came up finally, and I don't know, I don't really know why I'm here, to be honest. I didn't mean to come here. Ignore them flirting. I just sort of walked, and I guess I ended up here. Sorry if I'm imposing or anything. And she's like, no, I mean, that's okay, I understand. Sorry you and Amanda had a fight. Yeah, and he's like, I mean, I know I've mentioned things haven't been like perfect with us, but I guess it sort of blew up a little bit tonight. Yeah, I can go with you. And Rosalie's just like, no, it's okay. I mean, I know we haven't talked in a bit, but I'm not gonna, you know, turn you out. It's really bad out there anyways. And Chris is just gonna kind of keep rambling and elaborating on, like, I don't know, I guess, to be honest, one of the only places that I felt at ease and like I could just talk and be myself lately is when I'm hanging out at your house over here. So I guess I just sort of automatically took myself over here. Sims, stop it. I guess, you know, I just sort of automatically ended up over at your house. And Rosie's like, no, you don't have to apologize for that. I kind of feel the same way. Like, it's been nice to hang out with you too. I've felt comfortable, more comfortable, you know, having a friend like that than a while. As well, like, sorry that, you know, God, sorry, I haven't really checked in or anything lately. It sounds like stuff has gotten a bit rough between you and Amanda, and he's like, no, that's fine. I mean, that's okay. And Rosie's like, I mean, I would have texted. I have kind of been meaning to. I just didn't know, you know, like, I don't know if you wanted that. And he's like, that's kind of good to hear. I've sort of been in the same boat as, you know, just kind of laugh about that. As he's like, I was just kind of worried that I fucked things up a little bit. And Rosie's like, no, you didn't. I was worried that I would, you know, fuck them up more if I wrote anything or said anything to you, or even bringing it up now, or kissing back or anything. And Chris just cuts her off there and it's like, no, you didn't. And, you know, the tensions have been building between them for a bit. Motherfucker, sit down. for a bit, and there's kind of been a lull in the conversation, and Chris's emotions are still running a bit high, and staring deeply into each other's eyes here. You know what? He's just gonna, maybe the same thought he had before, but just think, fuck it, and both of them are gonna go ahead and lean in and I guess merge into one. Lean in and finally mutually kiss there. If you guys could maybe God damn it. If you two don't sit down and make the scene how I want it to be in my head. If you and Rosie's still a little bit, surprised by it, but she's gonna fully lean in this time, and it doesn't seem like either of them actually want to break it off this time, as the two, continue to get closer, and whether it's necessarily the best decision or not, kind of carry on where they left off last time, perhaps with not necessarily less guilt, but less apprehension in their in their emotions this time. And so we'll let them go ahead and woohoo. You know what? No need to really try for baby. She's already pregnant with your kid. And as the storm is building outside and things kind of come to a culmination with their relationship as well, we will go ahead and leave these two to finally connect, I guess, in whatever way they wish to. I just want okay, they're not gonna hop under the covers, but we know what's gonna go down tonight. And with that, we'll leave them there as we leave Chris and Rosalie to do whatever they're gonna end up doing. We're back at the Winston household after the whole blow up. Everyone's kind of headed to bed. It's definitely gotten pretty late, but as Robert II headed on out to the garage, as we know now that Catalina has a bit of a booze stash in her trunk, and to take the edge off of everything, Robert has definitely been partaking in that a little bit, and is pretty drunk at this point, just kind of sitting out by the fireplace in the family backyard, thinking over everything, just kind of still stewing in his anger, since nothing seemed to really continue and come of it anyways, sort of mumbling to himself, frustrated about everything still going on in the family, and he noticed Robert and Terrance running off to the study together too, and he's so tired of that sort of allegiance over Robert here, being his own son, and he's just kind of muttering to himself about things that he was yelling, and like, fucking Terrance, yeah, act like it's an empty pit. It's more like an empty pit of a person. God, it's probably, what, I don't know what the hell's up with anything, but he probably is fucking empty grave, just like his soul, just like his eyes every time I look at him. Kind of just drunkenly muttering to himself. But you know what? To his booze-addled mind, some of that's maybe making a little bit of sense. And he's been doing so much searching and stuff for evidence of anything here that his very drunk at this point self is gonna go ahead and think, you know what? Yeah, like maybe I should just go straight to the source here. So he's gonna kind of drunkenly stumble on over to Annabelle's grave here, grab maybe a shovel from the shed, and not thinking about it too much, just only seeing red pretty much for everything that's happened. Like, you know what? I'll show them. There's probably fucking nothing here, and he's just gonna go ahead and continue and start to dig up Annabelle's grave here and work at it for a while until it's getting pretty deep, and Julia realizes that she didn't go say goodnight to Annabelle like she usually does. She was so shaken up by everything, of course, that she's gonna go ahead and head on outside to come check out or to come see Annabelle for one last time for the night, and obviously notice her brother kind of desecrating the grave over here a little bit, and it's like, gonna sprint over to him, kind of in a panic, like, what are you doing? And he's pretty far down at this point, and he's like, Julia, I swear to God, like, I know, fucking just stay. It's gonna make sense in just a second. Just hold on, as she's kind of screaming at him, like, what are you doing? Stop, like, please, like, I just trying to question me, break it all up was enough. Like, what do you think you're doing, please? And as Robert sort of pulled out the casket that they did bury at the funeral, and Julia's obviously a bit distraught and losing her shit, Robert is gonna go ahead and throw the casket open, and as they both look down, realize that there is nothing there. There's no bones, there's no remains or anything left, as Julia's left a bit speechless, and Robert's even smirking a little, just like, yeah, yep, exactly, as Terrance is trying to corral Julia to bed, as he usually doesn't like her staying out here too much. It's raining anyways, and Terrance runs out to grab her to bed, and obviously realizes what is happening here, and stops in his tracks a bit as well, Robert glaring over at him like, yeah, fucking nothing. You got anything say about that? Oh, wise one. Oh, great guy, Terrance. And of course he's gonna try and jump in as fast as he can to be like, Julia, I am so sorry. What is your brother doing? Like, what does he think that he's doing? Like, trying to dig up, like, Annabelle's great. Like, obviously that's going to upset. You don't need to keep looking at this. You don't need to. You can. Let's just go to bed. You don't need this kind of trauma. You've already been put through so much trauma, and now your brother's trying to contribute to it, and everything. And you know what? Julia's just kind of been staring down at it for the past few minutes, ever since Robert flipped open the cover to it, and for the first time in a long while, it's not necessarily the same sad, gloomy look that Julia's gonna turn and look to Terrance with, but for the first time in a long time, it's pure anger that okay, well, it's pure anger in Julia's eyes as she turns to Terrance and just simply says to him, yeah, Terrance, what do you have to say about that? And we'll leave them there for the night. We have our very last little short stinger for the end of the episode, as we're back in the Clarke estate for a little bit, and we're heading into a certain someone's bedroom, as she's been pretty busy with tutoring and school things, and maybe even just putting stuff off a little bit because of her nerves. Anyways, because it's a pretty big moment finding out who your real parents are, but we are, of course, in Madison Clarke's room, as she, oh, this is not her. This is not, she has no glasses on. Hold on. The Sims have been wily with changing their outfits when I told them fucking not to today. But, it is late at night, everyone's gone to sleep, and she's finally steeled her nerves and thinks that her parents are asleep enough to finally maybe open up that false bottom drawer and look at the DNA results that Charlie gave her a few days ago. And so, with deep breaths, Madison is going to go ahead and open up her drawer, pull out the results, take a deep breath, and look at who her birth mom is for the first time in her life. And reading the results is not exactly what she expected. She's sort of taken aback reading that the name on these results is in fact Julia Winston. And that is where we'll leave the episode for the night. That's just that last little end bit there. I know most of you called that since episode 1, but we gotta confirm it, Maybe we'll learn a little bit more about what exactly happened to Annabelle then for our finale, along with a lot of other different things and drama and secrets and such. So I hope you enjoyed this very long episode. The finale might be a little long as well, but I feel like that's appropriate for the finale to season 1. So I hope you enjoyed all the drama this episode, though don't worry, there's definitely plenty of things to come in the finale, plenty of things to still reveal and get into on the finale episode of season 1. The digging worked a lot better than I thought it was going to on camera. So yeah, hope you enjoyed. You guys may have guessed some things that might be going on in the finale, some events that have been coming up. So it should be a fun time. Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate your support so much. I can be in the Discord after if anyone wants to talk a little bit about stuff going on in this episode. And yeah, I hope you all have a wonderful night. Stay safe, stay vigilant, and enjoy the rest of your weekend. My lovelies, thank you for being here, and I will talk to you later. Mwah.